You have been told again and again that manifesting the life you desire is difficult, that it requires complex rituals, endless techniques, constant affirmations, precise visualization practices, and a relentless grind to keep your vibration high, as though life were a machine that only responds to endless effort and monitoring. But what if all of that advice was actually backward? What if the truth is that quantum manifestation is not complex at all, but rather breathtakingly simple, so simple? In fact, that very few people ever recognize it or apply it correctly, and the very simplicity of it makes most people dismiss it, missing the power right in front of them, because you are right now living inside a quantum field, a field of pure potential, a space of infinite possibility. And this field is not moved by your desperate effort, but by your state of alignment. Yet most people approach manifestation as though it were a battle to be fought, a mountain to be conquered, a game to be hacked. They try to overpower their present reality with sheer willpower. They chant affirmations they secretly doubt. They visualize outcomes while carrying tension in their bodies. They force themselves to think positive thoughts while their nervous system is still trapped in fear, scarcity, and stress. And this mismatch is the very reason so many attempts collapse, because in the quantum world, forcing does not create flow. Forcing creates friction, and friction scrambles the signal you are sending to the field. The truth, when stripped of all complication, is that quantum manifestation is not about chasing or grabbing what you want. It is about collapsing into the version of reality in which you already have it. It is not about forcing the outside world to rearrange first. It is about embodying an internal state that naturally magnetizes that world to you without struggle, because the quantum field holds all realities at once. Success and failure, love and loneliness, health and illness, abundance and lack, all of them exist as waves of probability. But here is the key that so few ever understand. Those probabilities do not become your lived reality until they are observed, until the wave collapses under the gaze of an observer. And that observer is not only your conscious mind, but also your subconscious mind, which means that even if you consciously declare I am wealthy or I am loved, if deep down your subconscious is still broadcasting fear, stress, and unworthiness, the quantum field responds to that hidden broadcast and not to your surface words, because the subconscious always wins. This is why so many people feel trapped in loops. They are aligning their surface thoughts but ignoring the deeper patterns beneath. They are trying to sculpt a new life with affirmations while their body is still addicted to struggle, and the quantum, precise and impartial, mirrors back not their wishes but their true vibration. Think of it like this. Manifestation is not about shouting louder. It is about tuning a frequency like a radio dial. If you want jazz, you cannot demand jazz while tuned to heavy metal. You must shift your frequency to the channel where jazz already exists. And the quantum field is the same. It is a vast library of stations. Every version of you already lives there, and your state of being is the dial you turn. But most people leave the dial stuck on static, vibrating with contradiction, saying one thing, feeling another, doing something else, and the field has no choice but to mirror the noise. To understand why, you must look at the observer effect, a cornerstone of quantum physics. At the smallest level, particles exist in a state of pure potential, but when an observer focuses on a specific outcome, the wave collapses into that reality. The unseen becomes seen, the choice crystallizes into form. But here's the subtlety. The observer is not just your conscious attention, but also the silent programs of your subconscious, which means that even while you consciously focus on abundance, if your subconscious is tuned to fear and lack, that is the frequency collapsing into reality, and so the old patterns repeat themselves. Add to this another layer of discovery. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field far stronger than the brain's, and when your heart and mind are in coherence, your signal to the field is powerful, clear, and magnetic. But when your mind wants one thing and your heart is armored, afraid, or closed, the signal becomes fragmented, weak, and distorted, and the field mirrors not clarity but chaos. This is why manifestation often fails when attempted purely from the mind. Because the quantum is not listening to words, it is listening to coherence, it is reading the integrated vibration of your entire system. And if that system is sending mixed messages, the results will appear scrambled, delayed, or absent. Consider an example. Say you want to manifest love, you can make vision boards, recite affirmations, and imagine your dream partner vividly. But if deep inside you carry wounds of rejection, if your nervous system is bracing for abandonment, if your heart is shielded and afraid to open, the field reads that contradiction. And what returns to you is not a perfect partner, but more longing, more searching, More half connections that reflect your subconscious doubts. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because energy is precise, it mirrors your dominant frequency with absolute fidelity. The same is true with money. You can affirm wealth 1,000 times a day, but if your body still contracts with anxiety every time you think of bills, if your heart tightens at the thought of spending, if your nervous system is conditioned to scarcity, then the field will faithfully mirror scarcity back to you, because it cannot be fooled by words, only aligned signals. This is why the real art of manifestation is not about controlling the external, but about tuning the internal, shifting from chasing to becoming, from forcing to embodying. The field responds not to your effort but to your coherence, and coherence happens when your thoughts, emotions, and actions all move in the same direction, when your conscious mind and subconscious patterns stop fighting each other, when your nervous system feels safe enough to relax and to trust. In those moments of coherence, even brief, the field locks onto your signal, and reality begins to bend toward you with a precision that feels miraculous. And yet, so few people walk this path, because simplicity feels disarming, letting go feels wrong, surrender feels like losing control. But in truth, surrender is the key, because the moment you stop gripping so desperately, the field can finally deliver. Think back to times in your life when something unfolded effortlessly, when the right person showed up by accident, when an opportunity appeared you were not seeking, when a breakthrough idea arrived while you were relaxed, not forcing, not struggling, just open. And ask yourself, what did those moments have in common? The answer is that you were not gripping, you were aligned, you were available, you were tuned into flow without even realizing it. And that is the essence of quantum. Manifestation, not pushing harder but becoming clearer, not chasing but embodying, not demanding but resonating. The field is not reading your words, it is reading your energy, and energy does not lie, so the work is not to add more effort, but to remove resistance, not to complicate but to simplify, not to think your way there but to feel your way into coherence. And this coherence is not a one-time ritual. It is a living practice, moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath, a practice of noticing when you wobble out of alignment and gently returning, of using your body as a compass, because your body will tell you when you are off frequency. You will feel the tension, the contraction, the tightness, and in those moments you do not need to panic. You simply notice, breathe, recalibrate, and ask yourself, what would the version of me already living this reality choose right now? And then take one small step from that state. This is the path of embodiment, of living as though you already are the version you desire, and when you live from that place, the external evidence follows as a natural reflection. The paradox is that the less you need it, the faster it arrives, because you have removed the resistance that was blocking it. Manifestation is not about performance, it is about practice, not about perfection, but about coherence, not about hacking the system, but about harmonizing with it. Because the quantum field is not a machine to be manipulated, it is a living mirror, responsive and intelligent, reflecting back your most consistent vibration. You will wobble, you will doubt, you will be tempted to return to control. But the mastery is not in never wobbling. It is in returning to alignment faster, in holding trust even when external evidence has not yet appeared, in staying anchored in the new timeline long enough for the old one to lose its pull. The truth, simple but profound, is this. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you are, because the field is not responding to wish lists or perfect affirmations. It is responding to your state of being, to the vibration you carry into every thought, every interaction, every breath, and that vibration is built moment by moment. Like a radio, you must tune your dial. Like a musician, you must find resonance. Like a dancer, you must move in rhythm, because when your thoughts, emotions, and actions hum together, coherence creates a gravitational pull, and the field, precise and unerring, collapses the wave into form, delivering the reality that matches your being. And the beautiful paradox is that the more you relax into trust, the more the universe accelerates in your favor, because you are no longer blocking the natural current with the tension of control. Imagine standing in a river, the water already flowing in the direction you want to go, and instead of allowing it to carry you, you keep thrashing, grabbing, and pushing against the current, exhausting yourself. While the moment you soften and allow, the river carries you with ease. This is the essence of manifestation, not fighting the current but aligning with it, not demanding flow but becoming flow itself. Imagine also planting a seed. No farmer digs up the soil every hour to see if the roots are growing. No gardener screams at the flower to bloom faster. Growth is trusted, nurtured, aligned with nature's rhythm. And yet when it comes to our desires, we poke, prod, demand, and control, sending signals of mistrust that choke the very seed we've planted. But when you learn to nurture your state, water it with gratitude, and allow time to do its work, the field delivers without resistance. And perhaps the most profound realization of all is that the quantum field is not separate from you. It is not something outside that you manipulate from a distance. You are not a beggar at the door of the universe. You are the field itself. You are the wave and the observer, the signal and the mirror, entangled with possibility at every level. And when you remember this, manifestation stops being a technique and becomes a natural way of being. The question is never will it work. The question is only am I aligned enough to let it? Am I coherent enough to allow it? Am I willing to soften enough to receive it? Because the truth is it is already here, waiting for you to collapse the timeline into form, waiting for you to match it, waiting for you to remember that the life you are seeking is already entangled with you. And the moment you stop needing it so desperately, the moment you stop vibrating with contradiction, the moment you step into coherence, that is the moment the field mirrors it back with astonishing clarity.